Another dude slept with her in 1 hour, so that means that you need to do the same. And this is how red pill guys think. If she doesn't sleep with me within 1 hour, then she doesn't have genuine desire for me. And that is not just wrong, that is just total stupidity. Because sleeping with her quickly does not mean that you have won or that you're setting up a relationship dynamic that is good for you. Because sleeping with a woman very quickly often results in just a one-night stand. And if you slept with her quickly and it became a one-night stand and you never saw her again, then what did you win exactly? You won absolutely nothing if you never saw her again afterwards. But in the meanwhile, another guy will go on 2 or 3 dates, then sleep with her, and he will keep seeing her, maybe even for many years. So who won exactly in this specific scenario? Now, if you listen to men with this perspective, they will tell you, well, the guy that slept with her quickly won. But the smart guy will say, who gives a shit how fast you sleep with a woman? It's more important if you are going to retain her and if you're going to get the best behavior from her. So become that guy, and if you want to learn how to do that, then follow this page. Women are taught from a young age to disrespect men. That's what this gentleman says in this comment. And men love this narrative, but it's total BS. Because there are no classes or school programs where women are taught, you should disrespect men just for the sake of it. What is actually happening is that in modern society, women have a choice. And when someone has a choice, they don't automatically submit to an authority, especially if that authority has nothing to back it up with. Respect isn't granted just because you have male genitals. Respect is always earned and elicited by strength, by strong leadership and having a masculine presence. And women will never disrespect men that they admire. Women also don't disrespect men that know how to lead properly and that can make her feel something. So this narrative is nothing but a victim mindset, and that's it. It shifts all the blame for your dating outcomes to women, instead of asking yourself, okay, how I'm going to become that man that women respect and desire. And many men don't want to ask that question to themselves because that requires responsibility. And responsibility is uncomfortable, and it means that men have to do work. So instead, men prefer to choose comforting lies like this one. So don't fall for it, become that man that women actually want and that they actually desire, and as a result also follow and respect a lot. Follow for more dating tips. You shouldn't date women over 25 because they are ran through by other men. And these men, they love this narrative, but it's totally delusional. Because the vast majority of women are not sleeping around left and right with all kinds of guys all the time. But this narrative exists not because it's true, because red pill men, they do not care about the truth. Red pill guys care about what feels good and what protects their ego. Because if women are not ran through and there are actually many great women out there, then they need to do the work. They need to admit that they are not being chosen and that their behavior is the reason of it. And the truth is that if you want great dating results, then you need to have a good dating strategy and you need to become socially competent. And that's uncomfortable for men because that requires work. So what they do instead is that they will pretend that the outcome is not worth doing the work anyway. And that's how you get guys saying that women over 25 are ran through. There is an unlimited supply of great women out there. So you need to become that man that women actually want. Or you can keep hiding behind narratives such as these to protect your ego, and follow for more dating tips.
I think this is precisely why we have so many problems in the modern world, is because women have so much power and leverage. They're able to make their own dating and mating decisions. Girls have this perpetual mindset of like, oh, I can do better, I can do better, I can do better. Maybe you don't deserve better. Right? Maybe good is just good enough for you.
Now, the idea that women have way too much power and leverage is just totally ridiculous. Because what has actually changed is that women nowadays have a choice to walk away from men that they do not want to be with. In the past, women just stayed in relationships because they had to. Because women couldn't work and they couldn't pay their own bills, so they couldn't leave. But because nowadays women can pay their own bills, they can just walk away if they do not feel that they are attracted to the guy anymore. And that has nothing to do with female power or with feminism. It's just an economic reality that facilitates women making their mating decisions based on attraction and desire. And if you think about it, because women have choice, nowadays dating is a level playing field. Because nowadays you cannot rely on religion or tradition or on social pressure anymore to keep a woman around. Women only stay with men that they genuinely want, which means that you need to be attractive and socially competent. And that is responsibility for men, and it also means that they have to do the work. But instead of improving, they will pretend that they are totally powerless in the dating market, which they aren't. They will just blame feminism and modern dating for everything. So just stop romanticizing the past that never was, because dating was never perfect. Dating isn't broken nowadays, it's based on skill and it's competitive. So just do the work and become socially competent and get a proper dating strategy. Follow for more dating tips. You should improve yourself first before you start dating. That's what this gentleman says in this comment, and it sounds good, but this is so incredibly vague, because everyone will invent their own qualification test before they can start dating. Because a red pillar will say, well, I first need $1 million before I can start dating. And someone on Reddit will say, well, I need to be more in touch with my emotions before I can start dating out there. there. And those are two different standards, but they both end up at the same place, which is, I am not good enough yet. So these people, they will avoid dating and then basically call it self-improvement. And then perfectionism will kick in for these people, because once they hit those goals, they will then say, well, I'm not ready yet. And then they will just waste years basically doing nothing with their dating lives. Dating is something that you do alongside all of the other things that you're doing in your life. You build your career, you build your health, and at the same time, you're also dating women. You just grow as a man through your experience in dating. You're good enough right now to start. You can just take action and improve as you go. Follow for proper dating tips. Why should I date a woman and pay for her if all these chads slept with her for free? And this is a fantasy that many men love to hide behind. Men imagine an army of perfect men that are just sleeping with women left, right, and center all the time while they're getting left out. But the brutal truth is that this chat doesn't exist, let alone an army of them. Because women are not sleeping around as much as these guys like to believe. Most women are serial monogamous and they try to find someone that they like for a long-term relationship. But that is not why the myth of the chat exists. The real reason why this mythical chat exists is because it takes away all the responsibility from men. Because if the game is rigged, then they don't have to do any work to improve so that they can improve their dating results. But the reality is that competition in dating is so low. Most men are not improving and most men are not taking any action. So forget about this idea that you're competing with an army of chats out there, because this army does not exist. So decide to become better, because once you do that, it's very easy to stand out. And follow for more dating tips. Sex is ruining modern dating. That's what many men love to believe. But the truth is that people having sex, or even what they call hookup culture, never ruins anything about dating. What's really ruining modern dating is weak leadership and men not taking responsibility for their dating outcomes. Because what has changed in recent decades is that women have a choice to leave men that they do not like or that they do not feel attracted to. Women in the past most often couldn't leave relationships because they couldn't pay their own bills and take care of themselves. But because nowadays women can do that, they only date and stay with men that they actually want, that they have attraction for, and that they desire. And that means that building attraction, taking responsibility, and becoming a man that women desire matters a lot. But what many men actually want is not better dating, they just want guaranteed success. They want the women equally distributed among all of the men out there, as if we are living in a Stalinist planned economy rather than a free market of free choice. Men want the competition in dating to disappear so that they can get dating results without having to improve themselves or becoming better men. The brutal truth of modern dating is that it rewards men that are working on their strategy and that are working on becoming socially competent. Modern dating is never going to reward men that are hoping for some communist utopia to arrive that will basically distribute the women all equally amongst all the guys in society. So stop blaming having sex or hookup culture for the fact that you are not where you want to be in your dating life. Start becoming that man that women genuinely want. If you want to learn how to do that, then follow this page. The birth rates in Western countries are collapsing because women's standards are way too high. That's what this gentleman in this comment says, and that sounds good, but it's total BS. Because birth rates in developed countries are falling not because women have too high standards. It's just a function of economics and lifestyle preferences. Because women, as well as men, prefer to work on their careers and have fun experiences rather than prioritize having a large family. Because women, as well as men, want a lifestyle where they can go on trips a few times per year and where they basically have very low responsibilities. And that replaces having a big family, because having a big family requires you to build your life around it. And that's why people in developing countries have a ton of kids, because in those countries people prioritize having families and they build their lifestyle around it. So it has nothing to do with women's standards, it's a lifestyle choice of women and also men. Because men also nowadays don't want to have a large family anymore, but that's something that he ignores in this comment. But blaming women is very convenient, because then you do not have to look at yourself. You don't have to become better or work to become an attractive guy if it's all women's fault. And smart men do not argue with reality, they just become the man that gets out of dating what he wants. They build themselves into the men that women genuinely want, and also the kind of men that women want to have a family with. Follow for more dating tips. Birth rates in developed countries are collapsing because women have way too high dating standards. At least that's what a gentleman said in my YouTube comments, and I made a video reacting to it. And this gentleman in this comment says, it's not just the developed world, it's almost the entire world, and he is totally right. And the best part about his comment is that he totally destroys the red pill narrative that birth rates are collapsing because of feminism and because women have way too high dating standards. Because birth rates are also collapsing in countries that are not even that developed, and also in countries where feminism is not prevalent. So that means that the problem is not Western women. The real reason that birth rates are collapsing is because people don't want to have kids anymore, and they don't need them either. In developed countries, having a family is optional, and women are economically independent and they can make their own choices. And because men and women have choices, they prefer to do other things with their life rather than having large families. Because having many kids is a big responsibility. So that has nothing to do with ideology. It's just a function of economics, and it's a lifestyle choice that people are making nowadays. So just stop blaming women and understand how the reality actually works. Follow for more dating tips. Chats do not exist, and men have to start accepting this. Because men love to imagine that just because they are not getting dating results, that there are some 6-foot-tall hunk out there that is just slaying chicks left and right all the time. And that is just a total fantasy, because these kind of men, they are so incredibly rare. These men are so incredibly rare that it's not even worth worrying about for you. Because if there is a super good looking guy out there that is sleeping with hundreds of women, he will need more than just good looks. He will need top-notch logistics in your city. He needs a lot of money, and he needs confidence and charm, and he also needs to have a perfect presentation online. He needs to be great in bed, have perfect social skills, and basically make very few mistakes. And 99% of good-looking men, they fail at one of those that I just mentioned. And even if this mythical Chad really existed, he has only one dick. He can't be banging all of the women in your city, because that's just impossible. The girls that you see out and about, they are not being scooped up by some invisible model out there. But believing in the myth of the Chad is very comfortable for men, because that means that they can just throw in the towel without ever trying. They can justify turning women off and never work on their skills and their behavior in dating. So stop outsourcing responsibility, because Chad does not exist, and you need to level up as a guy. And follow for proper dating tips. Women only match with Chads on dating apps, so you stand no chance in dating. And what he says is very common, because many men nowadays believe in what I call the myth of the Chad. And the reason that it's a myth is because Chad doesn't exist. Because basically what these men describe as being a Chad means that you need to have a lot of qualities that will help you to get laid in dating. You will need to have so many qualities that there is only an exclusive class of men that have all of those qualities together. Because you need to be tall, good looking, have a good jawline, you need to have money, you need to have good logistics, you need to be great in bed, you need to have high status, you need to have unlimited options in dating, and you need to commit yourself to being a player. And those are just a few, and there are so few men in this world that actually have all of those qualities together. But these men pretend that Chads live on every corner of the street because it gives them an easy way out. The Chad needs to exist for men because it outsources responsibility. It's basically saying, well, it's not my fault that I'm not getting dating results. It was pointless from the beginning, because there are guys out there that I can never outcompete no matter how hard I try. And this is of course very ridiculous, because there are so few men out there that have proper dating skills and that are good looking at the same time. There are so few in this world that it's almost negligible even talking about it. So you want to be smarter and work on your presentation and work on your dating skills. Because these Chads out there that you think are getting laid constantly, they don't exist. So stop falling for this nonsense and become that guy that women genuinely want. And if you want to learn how to do that, then follow this page. If she slept with another man before me, then she has no value to me anymore. And men love this narrative, but it's so incredibly ridiculous. Because this narrative is built on the idea that all sex is the same. A quickie in a club bathroom is the same as sleeping with a woman that you're in a loving relationship with for 5 years. That's basically what these people that abide by this narrative, what they believe. Because sex differs a lot based upon when you have it, with whom you have it, and what meaning it has. And this mindset, it basically ignores all of these details and all of the context. And it also says nothing about how she treated you, or if she was supportive, or if she respected you deeply. It reduces a human relationship down to basically nothing but a statistic. And that is not standards, that is just oversimplification, and it also comes off insecure. Because you should always focus on the present and what's going on right now. Does she make your life better? Is she supportive, and does she admire you? So stop pretending that intimacy can only have one meaning, because this idea is totally ridiculous. Follow for more dating tips. If she's older than 25 and if she has slept with another man, then she has no value anymore. That's basically what this gentleman says in this comments. And this mindset is of course only driven by fear, not by standards. If you are convinced that you are her best option, then you're not going to obsess over who she slept with. You would focus on if she admires you and if she adds value to your life. Reducing a woman's worth to age or history is just insecurity, nothing else. It's a fear of competition and basically a fear of not measuring up. Become the best and most attractive version of yourself so that you can attract the women that you want. And once you go on many dates, then I will guarantee you that you will start to have a lot more standards than, well, she needs to be younger than 25. Follow for proper dating tips.